Welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, we are going to build a full stack CRUD application with Laravel as a backend and React.js as a frontend application. If you are new to this channel, subscribe this channel to get more tutorials. Let's get started by creating a Laravel project by following its official documentation. At first, create a Laravel project using Composer with this command. You will find a link in video description how to install Composer on your system. Now open command prompt or terminal and create a directory anywhere on your computer. I'm going to name it full stack. Now navigate to this directory. Enter this command here. Now I'm going to name of this project backend. Now hit enter. It may take a while. Okay, Laravel application has been created successfully. Now navigate to this project backend by cd. Okay, now open this project with any text editor. My case Visual Studio Code is preferred. Okay, let's create a database and configure with Laravel project. Click on database link and then click on getting started. Okay. SQLite databases are contained within a single file on your file system. You can create a new SQLite database using the toss command in your terminal. Copy this command, go back to terminal and enter this command. I am going to name the database mydb. I am working with SQLite 3 database. Okay. Expand database and you will see the database mydb has been created. Okay. Now I'm going to configure SQLite database connection. So open .env file of this Laravel project. Here change the DB connection name SQLite and also set the database absolute path. Paste here the DB path. That's it. Now save this file. Let's create a model and migration table. Search here generating model class. Click here and follow this instruction to generate eloquent model class. Okay, copy this command and paste here. I'm going to change the name of the model, my case book model. Okay, now hit enter. The migration created successfully. Expand migrations. Here you will see. Okay, now I am going to add table properties to migration table. I am going to add auto increments field. The field name will be ID. Add another three fields here. Now I am going to open model class book.php. Okay, now add the fillable fields and additional properties here. Define a protected fillable array that contains three elements: title, author, and publisher. Also define another property, name it table. Enter the table name here, books, my case. Okay, now save this file and let's apply migrate command to generate a table into MyDB SQLite database of name books with three fields. Okay, now go back to terminal or command prompt and type this command: php artisan migrate. Hit enter. We can see the migration status using this command. Okay, that's it. Let's generate a resource class. So go back to the documentation and search here API resources. Okay, click on generating resources. To generate a resource class, you may use the make resource artisan command. By default, resources will be placed in app http resources directory of our application. So copy this command and paste here. I'm going to change the resource class name, my case book resource. Okay, now hit enter. Here you will see into resources directory book resource class has been created successfully. Okay, now I am going to modify toArray method. Scroll down. Every resource class defines a toArray method which returns the array of attributes that should be converted to JSON when the resource is returned as a response from a route or controller method. So copy this, paste here. Okay, now change the property to title, author, and publisher. Okay, now save this file. Let's implement API route and add routes into api.php file for building an API application in Laravel. Okay, expand routes directory. You must open api.php for API routes. Okay, let's add a route so that we can retrieve all the book records from database. Enter the path here, books. Okay, now return book resource and call collection method. Okay, here you should import this to class. Okay, and also add another route so that we can retrieve a specific book record by its ID. Okay, now save this file. Okay, now start the development server and test the API using this command. Start the development server php artisan serve. Okay, now copy this link and open Postman application. Create a request. Okay, enter request URL and from here select get method. You must include API into the routes path. Okay, now send the request to the backend. There has no record in the database, so it returns an empty array. Let's generate resource controller class and implement. So search here resource controller. Okay, now copy this command. Stop the development server and paste here the command. I'm going to change the controller class name. My case book controller class. Okay, the controller class book controller has been created. Expand controllers directory, open book controller. Okay, now implement all the methods of controller class. At first I'm going to implement index method for displaying a listing of the resource. Just return all of the book record. We need to import book model class. Okay, and then I'm going to implement store method so that we can store a newly created resource in database. I already have implemented this method. We need to import validator class. Okay, I set the validation here. If the validation fails, it will return a message with an error. Otherwise, it will store the book record and return a response with a message book record created successfully. Okay, now save this file and add another route so that we can send a post request to store the record into the database. So open api.php file and here add another route with post method. Define the method. Okay, now save this file and test the API from Postman application. Here select post method and then enter the request URL and then select body. Okay, now select raw and JSON. Okay, now I'm going to send JSON data to the database. Okay, now send this request. We must start the development server before sending the post request. So start the development server and then send the post request. Okay, the book record created successfully. Now I am going to retrieve the book record. That's it. And also we can retrieve the book record by an ID. That's it. Now I'm going to implement another methods and routes. Implement put route and delete route for update and destroy method. Okay, here in the update method, at first we will find a book record by its ID. If the book record is exist, it will retrieve in editable form and then we can save the updated record. and it will return a response with this message: book record updated successfully. Otherwise, it will return a response: book record not found. We can delete an existing book record. Okay, now verify the application from Postman application. Select put method to update the book record of ID 1. Send the request: book record updated successfully. Now retrieve the record. That's it. Title updated successfully. Let's disable a wrapping of the outermost resource. Let's disable a wrapping of the outermost resource. Expand providers and open app service provider. Scroll down. Okay, copy this line and paste here, and also import the JSON resource in the top of this app service provider file. Okay, now restart the development server and retrieve all of the book records. Here you will see the changes. Okay, our Laravel CRUD API is ready to use. Now I am going to create React.js application and build CRUD application using Laravel and React.js. At first, ensure that you already have installed Node.js on your system, and then follow its official documentation to create a new React application. Open new terminal. Okay, create a new React application using this command. Navigate to full stack directory by cd or anywhere you want to create your React.js application. I'm going to name it Frontend. Okay, hit enter. It may take a while for creating a new React application. Okay, React application has been created successfully. Now navigate to this application by cd. Okay, now open this application with any text editor. Okay, and then open package.json file, and here add the proxy URL. It will be the backend server URL. Okay, now save this file. Go back to backend server. Now expand middleware and open the file name trust proxies. Okay, here define an array. Here add array element that will be the URL of the front-end application. So start the development server of React.js application. Start with npm. Okay, now copy this URL and paste here. Okay, now save this file. In the front-end application, I am going to show the basic code implementation to create CRUD operation, but I will not explain the code in detail. Let's install the necessary dependency for this application. Now I am going to install React Router DOM so that we can add navigation bar and routes in this application. So open a new tab in this terminal and enter this command to install React Router DOM using npm install React Router DOM. Hit enter and then open this React application with any text editor. My case Atom is preferred, and then open package.json file and ensure that you already have installed React Router DOM. Okay, now create some initial pages. So create a new folder inside source folder. I'm going to name it components. Okay, now create a new file and I'm going to name it list.component.js. Okay, let's add a navigation bar at the top of the all pages of this application. So open app.js and write the following code here. I'm going to delete this portion of the code. Define a router tag and also close router tag. Okay, and then define a div tag. Okay, now I'm going to add a navigation bar. So define nav tag here. Okay, now I am going to define a link here. So define link tag here You can follow the official documentation of React Router DOM from its official website. To use the link, we need to import React Router DOM. In the top of the file name app.js, and also import router from React Router DOM. Okay, the navigation link name, my case book list. Okay, now I'm going to set the route for book list. So I'm going to follow its official documentation. Copy this and paste here under the navigation bar. Okay, now define the route path. It will be the root route, and then add element of this route. Now we need to create a class named book list. So open list.component and create book list class and call fetch API to retrieve all the book records from the backend API server. You can follow this documentation. From here, copy this code and paste here and change the class name book list and import React from React. Okay, now change the array name, my case books, and also change the URL here. Copy this URL and paste here. Okay, now change the array name books. Okay, and also change here. Okay, now save this file and then open app.js and here write the book list class name. Okay, now we need to import book list class from list component. Now restart the development server. We need to export the book list class. Export default book list class. Okay, now save this file and then reload. We need to import routes and route in app.js. Now save this file. Okay, that's it. My front-end React application accessing the book records from the backend Laravel API server. Okay, and also the route is working properly. Now I'm going to render all the book records in a table. Just write this code here. Now save this file and that's it. Now I am going to create a form so that we can store a new book record into database from front-end application to back-end server. Create a new file. I am going to name it create book component.js. Okay. Now search here forms, copy this code and paste here. I'm going to change the class name create book and export this class. Export default create book. Now I am going to change this code so that we can hold the form data in title, author and publisher field, and also change this. Okay, now update the handle submit function with this code. Okay, here define title, author and publisher and call fetch API with this URL so that we can post a request to this URL. This is the API route. Here enter the method name, in this case post, and include headers. Content type is application JSON, and then after submitting the form data we should convert it to JSON using this function. Okay, now I'm going to change this form. This form contains three input fields: name, title, author, and publisher. Okay, now save this file. Now I'm going to add another route here. At first, add link in navigation bar. Now add the route here, enter the path, and we should change the element class name. Copy the class name and paste here, and also import the class name from create book component. Okay, now save this file. You must import React from React in the top of this file. Okay, that's it. Now I am going to create a new book record. See, the new book record has been stored into the database. After submitting the form data, if we want to redirect to the root URL, we should use navigation. So import this in the top of the file, use navigate, but we cannot use navigate into a class, so you can use a React hook. Otherwise you can do this, you can name it with navigate. Okay, here include the class name of this class name, and also call navigate function under the prevent default function. Here enter the redirect URL, in this case root URL. Okay, now save this file and reload. Okay, now store another book record. Here change the class name with this. Okay, now save this file and reload, create new record. That's it. Now I'm going to add two buttons in this table so that we can edit and delete a specific book record. Okay, open list component in the bottom of this page. Here write this code. We must import link from React router DOM and set the path name here. This is the path name, and we must have an ID of the book record to edit, and also add another button, delete button, and call a function name delete book and pass a parameter ID of the book. Okay, now add another route here for editing a book record. So we need to create a class named edit book. So create a new file and name it edit book dot component js my case. Okay, now write this code here. At first import react and use effect and use state from react, and also import use params and use navigate from react router. Edit book is a function because we cannot use params function in a class, and also we cannot use navigate function into a class. Okay, here book is an array. Here I have call fetch API with this URL and ID, and then call fetch API to send back to the updated form to the backend server with put method. Here include headers and also parse the body into JSON. Okay, after submitting the form, redirect to the root URL. Here enter the value of book title, book author, and book publisher. Okay, now save this file. For deleting the specific book record, we should implement function into list component. Write this code here. It must be same the function name delete book with this function call. Okay, include a parameter into this function and then call fetch API and include the method delete method and also include headers. Now save this file. Here import edit book from the component edit book. Okay, and see the book record has been updated. That's it. Now I'm going to delete a record. Click on delete button. If we reload, that's it. The book record has been deleted successfully. Okay. If you like this video, like, comment and share. Thank you so much for watching this video.